Welcome everyone to game number 1 in the series, Valas versus Vinchester on the right and left hand sides, playing in the green and purple color. I think this is fine. I'm not really sure. I know the green and green terrain can be kind of rough. You let me know if anybody's having issues with the color of the players over here, but I think between them they should be contrasting enough, right? It makes sense to set up a Patreon for recurring revenue to replace Twitch subs. Yes, I'm going to have a couple of ways to monetize. Donations are always going to remain an option, of course, but I'm going to open a coffee, actually, as opposed to Patreon. But it's pretty much the same system with a few additional perks, which is pretty good. So we'll see. Merch is going to be an option as well, but right now I don't really worry about it too much. If we take a look at the civilizations, starting with Valas first. Playing with Jaras means that he's gonna begin with 2 additional berry bushes underneath the TC. He will have the ability to garrison herdables inside the mill for passive food income. Besides that, we'll see for the Gujaras 20, 30, and 40% extra bonus damage from mounted units in the feudal castle and imperial ages, and for the team bonus, they also get 25% faster training camel and elephant line units. Now, Vinchester, on the other hand, playing with Mayans, he's gonna begin with 1 extra villager at the expense of 50 food. Besides that, we'll see for the Mayans also 10, 20, 30% cheaper archers in the feudal castle and imperial ages. 15% longer lasting resources. For the team bonus, 40% discount on walls. So that's going to be about it. And then the map generation. Map generation, I don't think it's going to be quite as important because this map is very consistent. We're just going to take a quick look at this, but you can see we have 1 goal in the back for Valas. We have 1 goal kind of forwardish, but it's very close to the TC. And then it's pretty easy for him to wall himself up if he just connects the dots. And it's going to be the case also for the other player, of course, which is what I mean by saying the map is very consistent, right? It's not going to vary too much from players to players. And for the purple player, we can see kind of the same as well. We have 1 goal in the back, then the other one's going to be on the right hand side, kind of forward, but once again, just connect the dots, right? And he should be able to wall himself up. And we're going to see the players most likely not going for this. If Vinchester ends up going for something like this, or maybe even not so greedy, but something like this alone could be enough for him to secure a wood line, for instance. Secure 1 of the golds, and that's probably going to get him enough to get going until he wants to start expanding over to the outcrops. Now, he's actually going to go for the greedier ones, though. Okay. Yeah, it's good. Usually players do have enough time to get away with this, so it's fine. I was cheering for Valas as Vinchester just killed some friends of mine in a tournament. In the Nations Cup. What happened? New Zealand versus Russia? Hey! King of Nargat, welcome. Let's have the changes. Does apply to this tournament or remaining matches? No, because the latest patch was actually rolled back. It was reverted to the previous version because of some performance issues, right? Some regressions, some performance regressions. So they rolled back to the previous version, and they're going to eventually introduce the changes once again, but I don't think they are applied right now. I'm just going to take a look at the game's tech tree, and that's going to let me know for sure, because for instance, that the Gujaras had gotten changed. Instead of having 20, 30, and 40% extra bonus damage, I think it was lower than that. But right now it still says the old value, so I think we are still on the old version. If New Zealand turned into Australia, then yes. Oh, yeah, I've not been keeping track of the Nations Cup too much, sorry. Yeah, but New Zealand does have a team, right? At the very least, I was not too far off. 180 HP, the new elephant, I think. Yeah, a bunch of changes. And Gurjara specifically, actually, the bonus damage from the mounted units got fixed. If I'm not mistaken. 200 elephant ramp. The siege elephant, yes. The armor elephant, rather. Yeah, I think it got updated. Now, I believe it takes a little bit of extra elephant damage. No. It takes less elephant damage, or it doesn't have... it's going to have, I think, a little bit higher, like cavalry or elephant armor or something like that, and it's going to have less ram armor, right? So it's going to be susceptible to other units, not just spears. So, or at the very least, it's going to be a little bit more affected by those. I thought about signing up, but didn't want to commit to anything when so rusted. Yeah. I get you for sure. So Vinchester is the first player to try and put up some pressure. He's gone for 3 archers, 1 spearman. Back home, he's got your standard American civilization build with barracks into the archer range. Not that you can go for much of anything else, but this does kind of catch me by surprise. So Mayans, they are good, don't get me wrong, but over here you're so far away from your opponent. I guess it's probably just the fact that it's not particularly difficult to wall up because of the way that the wood generates around your TCs, that it probably doesn't really bring you many benefits to make a play for scouts, right? You can take your time to go forward, try to put pressure with archers, and so far it's not worked out for Vinchester. Now Valas is gonna go on a counter strike. We'll see if he can do much of anything. It's the same to the spear line. In the end, the old one 7.4 times to kill. New one 7.8 times to kill. The armor elephant, Spirit of the Great video. Oh yeah, I saw that he had the video. I didn't watch it because of the rollback, but that makes sense. For the spear line, it's going to remain the same. Then it's going to be more vulnerable to other type of units, right? I would imagine. Would have been even 400 less elo compared to the lowest on the team, and the 7% if I enter right. Can you like just join a team, any team you want, or do you have to be accepted? I would imagine you have to be accepted, right? But anyway, Vinchester's got a few extra archers coming for themselves. Valas now he's bringing skirmishers in addition to the archers. But is it going to be enough? It's only 2 skirmishers over here. It doesn't seem like it's going to suffice though, even though he's trying to chase the hill. It's not going to be enough. Vinchester will end up cleaning up all the units from green. Definitely doesn't want to... Oh, you know what? You know what? That might actually not be the case. Vinchester ends up taking the most losses here. Yeah, another archer goes down. It seemed for a moment numbers were going to trump the stats, but Vinchester kind of hesitated over there for a moment. Valas was able to get a few extra uphill shots. Or I guess you could call them downhill shots from uphill. Regardless, he was able to get a few extra units from Vinchester. Now both players are on their way to the castle edge, but Vinchester, he's got a 26-second lead or so on Valas. He did add the second archer range, mind you, so now his production is going to be quite nice. Valas, on the other hand, he's still sticking to a single archer range, and I would imagine, well, he's playing with Gujaras, and he's facing archers, so what is 2 plus 2? Stable, right? So we're going to see Srivansha Riders coming up. Which makes sense. And it's going to give him the mobility that I was talking about earlier. There's a captain that enters the team, so I would have had to have organized it with that captain or for my own team for right. I see. Hey Bailo, hi, welcome. So they can't stay here too long, but I got here to remind you that you must know our time zones. Go back to bed. Yeah, I know. And this is ungodly early for my usual operating times, but it is what it is. There's actually a very interesting start time for the series for NILI. And I wonder if it's actually better or worse. I was thinking about this yesterday. The thing about this earlier start time is that you will get kind of like the climax of the stream of the tournament series, right? Before prime time. Like it's going to be significantly earlier than like 10 p.m, potentially even earlier than 9 p.m. Everything's going to be over already. In Europe, I guess that eliminates competition. Well, if a lot of people still watch TV, I guess maybe a lot of people do watch TV, that kind of eliminates competition from that, perhaps, but yeah. You count the Shivansha Riders though. We have 6. It might be enough against these archers plus the skirmishers. Yeah, and I love to see Valas taking the weak eagle down. The only units that would really be able to do much, if anything, against the Shivansha Riders, so. And now he can come from behind, and I think he's going to do it. Oh, 2 extra villagers going down. So far, 3 down from Valas. Vinchester's gonna continue roaming around. It's gonna be another one! But of course, the longer Vinchester stays here, the deeper he goes into Valas' base, the more damage is going to end up taking over here. Until eventually he ends up getting completely cleaned up, but the villager is gonna be exposed. The villager's going down in the end, yes sir! And the eagle gets cleaned up as well. You know what? We have only 3 Shivansha Riders over here. But those archers are going down. The agility. The Shivansha Riders still coming in quite handy, so the archers get absolutely wiped out. And Vinchester? Well, Vinchester does have a second group of units to work with over here. Of course, these won't really have anything to do against Shivansha Riders, so it's better off if Vinchester goes for extra economy like this, right? So he did go for the second TC already up in the north. He's got the third TC coming up on the left-hand side. And Valas is going for the third TC towards the south. He's got the second TC on the right-hand side. So both players will be on 3 TCs, but Vinchester did get the TC up a little bit earlier, so he was able to start getting ahead, start pulling a villager lead. We'll see 6 additional villagers for the Russian player so far compared to Valas. Reduce that to only 5 because of wheelbarrow coming up for Vinchester as well. Think Vinchester needs eagles? Yeah, eagles will be good. And he could potentially make a play for... he needs to keep some archers at hand as well. If Valas... Well, he cannot really collect any stone over here. But he does have the TC coming up down south. If Valas gets in eventually enough stone to get a castle up, he could potentially make a play for chakram throwers, which, like on paper, should be good against eagles. But if Vinchester had gone for eagles straight up to the castle age, for instance, he might have been able to get a good amount of units out before Valas ever got a chance of even thinking of going for chakram throwers. But now, he's committed to the archers. Not only that, he's going to continue committed to the archers. Check this out, the unit production. 2 crossbows, get up. Villagers coming out, monks on the way as well. Monks seems to be a good addition as well, but he's gotta pay attention to them though. They're going down right away. The first monk anyway. It's taken down right into the ground, and yeah, if he was able to get a good amount of monks to send those forward, yeah, sure, the Shivansha Riders are not going to be enough on their own anymore. And then crossbows would have been able to provide defenses, protection to the monks against the possibility of scout cavalry, light cavalry, right? But yeah, as is, Vinchester needs to get a good amount of monks, and he needs to get them forward. Now, nice quick walls for the purple player. Well done. You can say the game has kind of stabilized at this point, but Vinchester is definitely the one looking the strongest. It's not only the military count is higher for Vinchester, but also the fact that his army value is higher as well. Despite sticking to archers for the most part. Now, that might not have been the best Engagement against the Scorpions, but he will take both these down. I'm Garrison in my bed now? Okay, okay, Lawrence. See you next time. Sleep well. Sleep well. Is que ahora, by the way, just for hello or also for goodbye? Curious. Like 6 coming in now for Vinchester as well. Certainly 8 in the raids. Yeah, now the counter-strike is coming up, but Vinchester is actually just going to collect the relic and walk away with the monk, which means he won't have this one at hand to potentially get the conversions going. To be fair, Valas has the majority of the Srivansha Riders, if not all of them. And it's just the majority of the Srivansha Riders they are forward. Predominantly for hello, but you can also say goodbye and thank you. Okay, okay, okay. I see. It's a kia ora for you. For the day. Yeah, this shouldn't really deny the TC. Like, this one is right there. Vinchester's not paying attention though, it's just trying to force this one up. Manages to do so. 3 villagers scrambling over here, mind you. Coming in from Vinchester, he's managed to breach through already. He's coming up, dancing around the Mangonel with the crossbows. Beautiful unit control. So far from Mr. Vinchester. Notice, he's not lost a single crossbowman yet. And he's taken Vil after Vil after Vil. Cannot take the Mangonel yet. This is not too bad. Just gotta make sure that he does not take a big mango shot when trying to exit through that choke point, and that's another shot. We cannot see the bodies, but we can see the HP bars going from probably around 12, 13, maybe 15 down to 5 only, right? So that was a nice mango shot in the end. That's coming out for Vinchester 4. He tried to go for the forward castle. Valas reacted immediately. Forced Vinchester to relocate a castle. I am not the biggest fan of this castle because it's still going to be kind of blocked by this one, in the sense that he's not going to be able to put any pressure from this angle. If he had gone for the castle up to the north of the TC, that would have allowed him to put pressure against the TC without worrying about this castle, but it would not have been the best location to try and secure the extra resources, so it's understandable for Vinchester to try and get the castle over here instead. Now that's a Mangonel though, and the Srivansha Riders will be enough to deny the castle for the time being. 3 Mangonels coming up right now. Yes, sir. He has some crosses over here, but against 3 Mangonels, I feel like this might be a little bit too difficult for Vinchester to pull off, and the villagers are going down. Yes, sir. He doesn't not taking the foundation of his own house down though. So the spearmen are coming in, but the castle's over there. Nice mango shots over here. Once again, we have only 5 villagers left. Make that 2 villagers left, and now Vinchester is probably going to end up losing these 2 as well. Only 1 villager left. 96.81% completion for this castle. If he keeps the villager at hand, he might be able to finish the castle, but he's gotta try. And he's gonna try and beat the Mangonels. He's gonna try to do it right now, and notice the villager's coming up, and that's going to be 98%. 99, and the villager gets the castle up at the last second. After the foundations already endure a lot of damage over here. He does end up getting the castle up. This was absolutely instrumental. Vinchester is the only player on his way to the Imperial Age. Getting the castle up means he'll be the only player with access to trebuchets in a moment, right? Valas managed to get enough food to click out to the Imperial Age, but he does not have anywhere near enough gold right now. And he does not have enough surplus economy to utilize the market to get so. So, Vinchester in 15 seconds is going to get access to trebuchets. He's got already a Mangonel out. He's got extra crossbows coming out. Interestingly enough, He is going for chainmail armor, so it seems like he's gonna try and continue going for infantry quite a bit, and makes sense because of the pikeman, right? Potentially halberdier. Doesn't need to go for halberdier against castle age units, so you can focus on upgrading the crossbows instead. And honestly, I don't even think that pikeman would be necessary when he's in the Imperial Age, right? If you can go for arbalesters, bracer, and chemistry, those archer units are really going to be so much stronger compared to anything from the Castle Age. That the pikeman might be redundant, and he's not going for any extra pikemen anymore. So that's good. Yeah, and of course the castle's going to stay up. Castle Age Siege is not going to do anything. He's got a mountain already out. He's repairing the castle as well with a single villager, mind you. He's got the trebuchet out, nice. Up in the north, Valas is getting his own castle up as well on the right hand side. Vinchester is getting his own castle as well. And Vinch, he is aware of the other castle of Valas, so he's gonna try and get the trebs out. It's a control on the way on the left hand side for Vinchester. Only one queued up on the right hand side. For the purple player, no third trebuchet coming out from the left hand side castle. He doesn't have the goal right now. Now the crossbow push is coming in once again. This is huge, guys. This is huge. If Vinchester takes the castle down south, and he does, then there's only one TC left for Valas to protect. His left hand side presence. He's got 20 villagers over here. The TC is already insufficient for him to garrison his entire economy on the left hand side. Then of course, eventually this castle on the right hand side is going down as well, right? Vinchester's got only one trebuchet, but Valas is only now getting to the Imperial Age, so you can't really fight this off. And losing both those castles means that Valas won't be getting access to any of the extra golds. And with all the units from Vinchester roaming inside Valas' base, of course, green player's economy is incredibly precarious right now. He does not have access to the starting gold anymore. He's about to lose access to this gold down south, and I think this might be it, guys. I think this is going to be the GG as he calls it right there. Vinchester won, Valas nil, and this is already a great starting game for Vinchester. But to be fair, seemed to struggle yesterday a little bit against Mr. Sebastian, right? But against Valas over here, game number 1 seemed to be pretty good for the Rajan Wonder Boy. Let's take a look at the achievements. Starting with military, we'll notice a close to 21 to 20 KD ratio for Valas. For economy, on the other hand, we have a stronger economy for Vinchester, very close to 16,000, a little bit higher actually than 16,000 extra resources. Society, higher villager max count for Vinchester. It took the fewest losses throughout the game as well, losing about 17 villagers compared to Valas, who ended up losing about 49 if I'm not mistaken. Well done. And welcome everyone then to game number 2. I'm going to wait for the commercial to run out before answering the question, of course, in case Skywalker is affected by them. But yeah, game number 2, Northern Isles. Valas on the left hand side will leverage the Dravidians, and Vinchester on the right hand side is going to have the Italians instead. What do we get for Dravidians? Well, Valas is going to get first off with the civilization, 200 additional food, 200 additional wood, sorry, every time that he moves on to the next stage. A 50% discount on barracks. Besides that, we also have for the Dravidians, 25% faster attack in elephant archers, skirmisher units, in addition to the team bonus, which will give them 5 extra population space per each dock that they go for. So it's going to be a little bit cheaper, right? Where are you from? So I was waiting for the commercial to run out over there. I am from Argentina. The land of Messi, the land of Nikov. Oh, you papa. As for Vinchester Civilization, on the other hand, playing with Italians, that means that he's gonna get a 15% discount on fish and chips. He's also gonna get a 15% discount to go up to the next stage, in addition to 33% cheaper dock and university upgrades, 20% cheaper gunpowder units, and for the team bonus, access to condottieri from the barracks in the Imperial Age. We could take a look at the map generation for both these guys. Honestly, this map is going to be also a very, very consistent one. I think it's going to be pretty comparable for the most part for both these guys. Just taking a look at the minimap, that seems to be quite obvious, so I don't think it's going to be quite as relevant for this game specifically. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm very proud of it. I did a lot to make it happen. I was part of the team, as you know. Yeah, if it weren't because of us. Just kidding, by the way. Just making fun of the fact that I actually had nothing to do with it, but it's nice to have it anyway. Still in Argentina? Yes, I'm going to remain in Argentina until later this year. I'm not really sure if I'm going to move out before the end of the year or early next year. It's pretty much a given at this point already, but I'm not really sure exactly when it is that I'm moving out. I need to crunch some numbers, see how much money I need to save to move out in the first place, right? Because I'm gonna need a little bit of a cushion. And there's a bunch of stuff that I need to do first as well, so I still don't have a clear estimation for that. Know where you're going decided? I know that it's going to be either Germany or Austria, but I have not decided the city yet. I am very much leaning towards Cologne, Düsseldorf, or Hamburg. I honestly would love to go to Frankfurt, but it's pricier. So I think the most realistic choice is one of those cities. Potentially maybe one of the cheaper ones, like Leipzig. That's also a little bit more accessible, so I still have to see. Why not Hanover? It's also an option. Yeah. Could be Hanover. Just need to decide, but yeah, I know that it's going to be either Germany or if it's Austria, it's probably going to be Vienna. But we'll see. Villages here, Valas. He's landed 2 villagers. He's going for the archer ranges, and Vinchester spots him right away. He actually had an outpost over here, so Valas is not surprising anyone over here. Vinchester's already aware of this. He's going for a barracks, so it's gonna take some time for Vinchester to get actual units out to defend against this, right? First gotta get the barracks, then he can go for the archer range. But because of the tower being already up, Vinchester should be in a position to defend himself already in. Archers from Valas, especially with that fletching, won't really be of much use. Range is on the way now for Vinchester, finally, there we go. Blacksmith on the way for Valas as well. Without fletching, these archers are not particularly high range, so I mean, he can try and push the villagers away, right? Yeah, 10 seconds for him to get fletching, and then he effectively denies the entire wood line. Yeah, there you go. That's good. And now it's a much larger threat as well. If the villagers ignore the archers over here with fletching, these archers will be taking villages down eventually. And here comes Valas with extra units. Tower's coming up already for the green player behind the wood line as well. So that's gonna be great. Oh, and he's parking the archers underneath the TC. Beautiful position from Valas. It didn't seem as if he should have been able to get away with too much damage over here against Vinchester, given the purple player's reaction being quite swift, right? But so far, it's actually worked out a lot better than I would have expected. He's trying to take the tower down with villagers right now as well. If he can keep the archers alive over here, he might actually be able to do so. And he's bringing extra archers. Notice that Vinchester is pulling extra villagers over to this area, right? But the extra archers were coming in just at the same time from Valas. So it seems like the tower is going down, or at the very least is getting low enough HP to eject the villagers. And that's gonna be one villager going down, yes sir. You can see the pickaxe right there. Yeah, the tower crumbles, and this is such a good push from Valas. Now, on water, he also has some navy as well, so it's not going to be just land that he's focusing on, even if he's not being aggressive with whatever navy he's got, right? At the very least, he's got enough to defend himself with. Now, he falls back to the tower and finds himself in a very, very nice position. Even Vinchester is still able to keep up with work account. Even if Vinchester has a strong enough economy over here to click out to the castle age somewhat soon. He already lost so many resources in terms of not being able to access what he invested into, right? The lumber camp over here, the mining camp, he's not going to be able to make use of. He's forced into additional investments elsewhere, with the mining camp coming up on the left hand side. Another one coming out, one for stone, one for gold. He didn't have the resource to go for everything at the same time. He had to wait. And Valas is now facing skirmishers, so he's got to be careful. And he's going for Panther Arch Armor right away, which Vinchester already had access to. Vinch Castle Age though. Very soon he'll be able to click up. Valas needs to continue putting pressure elsewhere. He's already done a good amount of damage on the right hand side, and he's got a good amount of units. But he's got to continue putting pressure elsewhere. He's gonna try. Notice he's bringing the skirmishes over. Right now, Vinchester's got more though. He's got a higher HP pool. Unit control is good from Valas. Yeah, and if Valas uses the market, he should be very close to himself as well. Notice that Valas brought the skirmishers forward first to soak damage from the TC. So now he's got the archers past the TC, but the skirmishers coming out from Vinchester should suffice for him to defend. And what a beautiful play. Let me go back over here about 30 seconds or so. Check this out. Actually, 30 extra seconds. This was so good from Vinchester. Notice that Valas did a really good job sending the skirmishers in first, but Vinchester targeted the archers right away, and he was able to reduce the army over here. Like 3 archers went down right away to the TC fire, and that allowed them to prevent Valas' units from going in unscratched, right? So that was really, really well played from Vinchester. If he hadn't manually targeted those archers, then the skirmishers would have soaked up the damage, and Valas would have been in a position to push the villagers away from gold over here, or potentially trade the archers for a couple of villas. Now, Vinchester's gonna be the first one going out to the castle age by quite a bit. Valas is going out to the castle age himself as well, but Vinchester's got a significant head start right now. 1 minute and 20 seconds faster compared to Valas. Well done. Left hand side. Looking better for Vinchester. Yes, sir. Seems like he's going to end up getting water control. At the very least, he'll end up pushing Valas away from here. Yeah, and things are starting to look a lot better for the Raja man. Lucky arrows on the way. Doesn't really have a transport ship right now anymore. So you cannot transport the units. Guess it's gonna be here in 30 seconds or so for Valas. Vinchester. Well, he's going for the war galley upgrade. He's got 6 fire galleys, so that's gonna be 6 fire ships in a moment. He's got 3 galleys. Soon to turn into war galleys, of course. And extra docks coming up on the back just to make sure that he's able to continue fishing efficiently, right? Like the fish are eventually run out as well. Well done. Valas has, for the most part, been able to stabilize. Yeah, pretty nicely. We have only 2 skirmishers over here. Vinchester has been able to stabilize, sorry. Valas got 2 skirmishers garrison inside both these archer ranges. There's a second TC coming up for the green player. Now, Vinchester is ahead in military count by a lot. Notice that a big chunk of his army is going to consist of navy for the most part, but he's got Manuel coming out to take the tower down, take the archer ranges down. If Valas doesn't manage to bail in time, he's going to end up losing the villager. Or siege workshop and monastery coming in for Valas. Vinchester is getting close to having enough resources to go for a castle, yes. And he seems to be prioritizing that, otherwise he probably would have gone for the second TC already. He doesn't know about the siege workshop though. He doesn't know about the monastery. Oh, nice shot from Valas. And Vinch is going for the second TC now, okay. So he'll delay the castle. You know, 1 over here for the purple player would be actually pretty nice. Right next to the siege workshop, probably around this area, right? Would be pretty good. There we are. Hey, Vin. Hi. Welcome back as well. Buzz ahead now. He's ahead in military, he's ahead in worker count. Nice shot from Vinchester. And Valas was the first player to get the 3rd TCF, so it seems to me like he should be pulling ahead in villager count a little bit more. Vinchester. Yeah, Vinchester's got the mountain coming out, and that is not going to be a good enough shot. The siege workshop in the end goes down. He tried to repair it. But if he places cars right over here, yeah, that's going to be 2 for 1. It's not too bad, but he needs to go for yet another siege workshop. Yeah, Valas is definitely the one putting pressure right now. He's kind of in the driver's seat, right? And it's all because of this going unnoticed. Quite a departure compared to early on in Fuel Age when Valas tried to be sneaky and he landed with the archer ranges, and then Vinchester already had the outpost up and he noticed about this right away. Well, this is what Valas meant to do from the very beginning, to be sneaky, to be surprising. And Vinchester failed to realize about the siege workshop in the monastery on time. Which probably ahead in total resources. Let's take a look. So the worker efficiency stat over here reveals that Valas has had villagers collecting resources for a longer time compared to Vinchester. He does have heavy plow, but he's just researched it, so he's been on horse collar for the most part until the last minute or so, and he does not have wheelbarrows, so I would imagine gathered resources total is kind of comparable between the players. I would say Valas has a lead over here. It's probably going to be like a 400, 500 lead at most. Wow, that is not what I was expecting to see whatsoever. 2,000 extra resources for Valas, despite having only 50 minutes of extra gather economy time. Wow. It's so interesting though. This was Vinchester's home map that Valas decided to play for game number 2. And it's Valas the one to come out on top. Of course, when you are in the drafting process, you don't get to choose exclusively the maps you have prepared yourself for. Sometimes your opponent is going to pick a map that you actually were planning to pick as a home map. So yeah, the fact that one player has a map as a home map doesn't mean that the other player is going to be at a disadvantage over there. That could be very well the case, that, you know, your opponent has prepared for one of your home maps just as much as you have. That is a nice man shot though from Vinchester. And now finally we see the castle come up. Ideally, he would have wanted to get the castle up in front of the stone, in front of the gold. But this is going to suffice for the time being. You gotta keep in mind that Vinchester already has a gold on the back, so he's going to be fine for the time being. Once he cleans this up, then he can try and reclaim access to the gold. Here's Spearman taking the mantle earlier. Yeah. The castle's getting the lead though, for the time being. Just gotta be careful. Nice mango shot. Valas is still here though. He's got 2 manos himself. There we go. Yeah, good unit control for Valas. And for Vinchester, 1 for 1. And we have 2 manos left for Valas, and Vinchester doesn't seem like he'll be able to get the castle up. 2 villagers go down right away. The man is coming out, but it's going down at the same time. Not quite. Just losing a lot of HP. He does manage to get a good shot though, out before the mana goes out. But in the end, it's going in favor of Vinchester, and just barely though, just barely. Oh boy. Castle comes out though finally for Vinchester, and Valas. Valas is halfway up to the Imperial Age. Valas has enough stone to go for castles. He's got 2 transport ships already fully stocked with villagers. And he's going for a castle at the center. Armor Elephant would be great over here. Well, yeah, Valas could go for that right now. He's just trying to get access to the center, and you know, if he gets the castle up over here, so hear me out. He gets the castle up over here, then he needs to bring the transport ships over to the right hand side though. He cannot afford to lose these. I mean, probably he can't afford, but you get what I'm saying. Brings the transport ships over here, collects the villagers up, sends the villagers over here, and drops a castle around here. He's the only player in the Imperial Age. What is Vinchester going to do? Go for traps? And then he denies this, right? He needs to just keep the villagers up so that Vinchester eventually runs out of gold. Once that happens, Valas is going to be the only player with access to gold. Okay, second castle's coming up front and center for Valas instead, and it's alright. It's got heavy demolition ship coming up, bracer, squire, actually supply, sorry. It's got the Manatarans upgrade on the way in squires. Interesting. There we go. Hit shot came in for Vinchester, by the way. Although I don't think he's got fortifications to take advantage of it. Unless he went for a castle over here on the left hand side. Oh, he's got a tower. He's got a guard tower. Okay, okay, okay. It's still not going to be too game changing though. Valas is going pretty heavily into Navy himself. Remember, Vinchester is playing with Italians. This is a naval civilization, but so is Dravidians. Dravidians, if I'm not mistaken, is a naval and elephant civilization. Vinchester's getting shipwright right now. He's got heavy, actually fast fire ships. We already had that for Valas. So this is going to be just parity for Vinchester. Finally, the pro player manages to get access to his own gold back. What I said earlier about the possibility of a forward castle to try and prevent Vinchester from getting access to these golds was not even that necessary, strictly speaking, because just as much gold as Vinchester is able to get from here, Valas also gets access to back home himself, right? And Vinchester, he's landed already with a villager, got spotted already by Valas' outpost. And yeah, it's not even necessary for him to go for the... Oh! Tirsa die! For Valas! Alright! Well, it seems like Vinchester's choices are kind of running out here. But yeah, basically, Valas is going to access as much gold from his island as Vinchester is going to have access to gold on his island, and then all of this is going to be like profit, right? So all this is going to be extra gold for Valas. So Vinchester is eventually still going to be the one running out of resources. It's just going to take some time. And the Condottieri are coming out. We already have a castle for Valas to defend himself with, and he was already anticipating this. He was making a play for champions. He's got a 200 swordsman upgrade on the way. Yeah, wow, and some Urumi swordsman. This is a unit that I haven't seen a whole lot of since the game came out. Like, honestly, almost no one makes use of it. But it could potentially be good. It's just that it doesn't really shine in 1v1 combat. You want to use groups of units because of the area of effect range. So it's quite clear Valas is forward. It's pretty much gone. Valas, he's got the 200 swordsman already coming out. Seems like he's saving though. Yeah, to go for elite. Or does he want to go for wood steel? He's got enough resources to go for anything he wants right now. Did Valas drop over here? Nope. He's still here. He's just not making use of his resources at all. But he can go for elite Urumi swordsman. He can go for champion. He can go for wood steel. Which would be absolutely fantastic at this position, of course. He's facing infantry with infantry. Hand-to-hand combat. It's going to be the specialty of the Dravidian infantry, of course. And Valas is not really going for much of anything, though. Once again, he's got plenty of resources to go for whatever he wants. I think it's probably just focusing on land, on water, actually, for the most part, right? Yeah. And the Tirsa die should keep him ahead. Shipwrights on the way for Valas. Beautiful. Valas landed with traps. Ah, yeah. Good catch. Doesn't seem like he's paying attention though. Valas seems to be struggling with everything that's taking place right now. He does not seem to have the attention span to keep up. At the very least, up until this point, he's housed. He's lost 2 trebuchets for free. He's going for another castle back home, and Vinchester is actually starting to pick up some steam over here, starting to get some momentum. And Valas got no business being in this position. He had enough resources to go for elite Surumi swordsman. He's had enough resources to go for champion. Well, of course, for a while, right? But yeah, he's not made use of the resources. Wood steel, I don't think he's gone for it either. Vinchester is able to keep up with everything that's taking place right now a little bit better, although Valas, he lands up in the north with a bunch of villagers, goes for a 4 castle. If he can push even briefly Vinchester out of this goal, that's going to put him in a much better position. But my lord, Valas' position right now is not particularly efficient. How many villages do we have over here? About 25 villages, 24 villages, so just trying to repair the castle. Going for a trebuchet against bombard cannons, quite clearly won't work. If Vinchester is paying attention, he's going to take the trebuchet down eventually with the bombard cannons over there, but he doesn't seem to be paying attention either though. Valas now! He's taking the bombard cannons down, 3 bombard cannons down so far. And Vinchester is falling victim of the same thing that was affecting Valas just a moment ago. Too many things to pay attention to. So Vinchester's trying to defend himself against the push from Valas on the right hand side. He's trying to push Valas out on the left hand side. But there's a big consideration over here. The purple player, he needs to push Valas away from here in order to access extra gold. However, the extra gold that he's gonna get access to is gonna be very, very small, right? He's got 3 tiles over here to take advantage of, right? And then there are 3 tiles of gold, additional gold actually for him to take advantage of behind the castle, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, no, behind the monastery over here. But it's going to be less than 4,000. Meanwhile, Valas has access to 9,000 plus gold over there. And Vinchester's about to run out of his own gold. He's lost the castle already. So it seems to me that while Vinchester is in a position to start picking up some steam, right, to start getting some momentum, it's not going to be enough. Because whatever he gets access to by displacing Valas away from here does not compensate what he's losing access to over here by getting displaced from this area by Valas, and certainly does not compensate for not having access to the center resources. It just does not add up. So Valas, he was kind of looking a little bit flaky over there for a moment, but it's not going to be the case anymore. Now we have Cannon Galleon for Valas. He's finally gotten the champion upgrade, researching. The castle down from Vinchester over here. He's gonna get pushed away from the 1 tile of gold that he's got left, which, to be fair, was about to run out on its own anyway, although that was a very good defense for Vinchester. The bombard cannon is taking the trebuchets down, and Vinchester is just going to call the GG regardless though, because yes, Valas can keep on going for days over here. Vinchester not so much. So that's gonna be 1-1. Let's take a look at the achievements really quickly, and starting with military, we'll see a better KD for Valas, surpassing 76. Economy, we have a stronger economy for Valas as well, about 9,000 extra resources. And then for society, villager max count that is higher compared to Vinchester's, and a much lower amount of villager losses as well, with about 15 villagers going down throughout the game versus 43. Welcome you all to game number 3 then. A tiebreaker over here for the series, of course. We still have plenty of action to come. It's going to be at the very least 5 games for this one. Guaranteed. Depending on how the next few games go, we could very well see a 6-game series. A 7-game series, of course, would be ideal, I think. You play Nations Cup at all, Noah? Don't have the time, unfortunately. No. But let's talk about the civs over here. Valas is playing with Franks. This is Arabia for game number 3. And it's going to be Franks for Valas versus Aztecs for Vinchester. Both very standard Arabia civilization, staple of AOC actually. And going through the civilization bonuses, we'll see that Valas is going to get 25% cheaper castles, 20% higher HP on cavalry units, starting in the fuel age. Besides that, the Franks will also get 15% faster working foragers and free farm upgrades. The team bonus gives them 2 extra line of sight on 9 line units, and then Vinchester playing with the Aztecs. It's got the ability to carry 3 extra resources per trip. It's got also 11% faster training military units, except for monks, but monks do get, however, 5 extra HP per each monastery technology researched. Besides all of that, the Aztecs will also have for the team bonus 33% faster gold income from relics, and that's going to be about it. Are you playing the Nations Cup at all? Magnini? Let me know. And on Arabia, I think this is definitely a map worth taking a look at. Generation. We'll see for the green player that he's got the main goal on the right hand side. Let's get the main stone on the right hand side as well, and then the secondary stone is gonna be on the left hand side, very far away from the TC, mind you, and then the gold over here on the left hand side. The secondary goals will be kind of forward, very far away as well. And he is kind of close to the corner, mind you, but not close enough. It's going to be particularly cheap or straightforward for him to go for something like this. He could, but it's not going to be straightforward once again. And I think it's probably going to end up being something like this. If he ends up going for walls, right? It's probably going to be something like this, maybe something like this, and like so. Which means that he's not going to have any wood line safe on paper. While I would prefer for him to go for the walls like this, which would potentially allow him to secure this area of the wood line, we have seen pro players for the most part prefer to go for the safer walls, which, not the safer walls, sorry, for the faster walls, which usually is going to be something like this, which is not great, or potentially even something like this, still not going to be too good. Unless he went for something like this, well, that wood line is going to be completely exposed. While Vinchester, on the other hand, Vinchester, he's got the main goal on the back. Secondary goal is gonna be also on the back, although kind of side-ish. And he's already been going for walls. He's connecting to the edge of the map on the left-hand side, and this is beautiful. Because even if he goes for the walls like this on the right-hand side, he's going to end up securing this wall line already in the goal. And this is so much better compared to what Valas has access to. We take a look at Vinchester's point of view. He doesn't know about the wood lines, however. Otherwise, he could try to go for something like this. Right now, he's not aware of it. Potentially end up securing a secondary goal on the back, right? I am not, maybe next time. Gotta train up my teammates, right? We have militias coming over from Vinchester, 3 militias. None of that avant-garde 2 militia drush. Old school Vinchester drush over here on the way. Valas is getting the walls up, and he knows exactly what's coming up, and he's getting the walls out just in time. It's still going to be very much open though, but it's not going to be an issue so long as Vinchester does not go straight through. Will Vinchester? Vinchester's just gonna try to break through now. He's got the man-at-arms. Researched. So he was trying to break through the palisade. Cannot do it. Now he's gonna try going around. Well, that's alright. Valas is getting the archer range already up. He was making a play for scouts. Right, so he was going for the extra scouts. He's got these 4 already, so going for the archer range over there is coming in at the... It's not going to be a reaction to the Minotaurs. It's going to be a natural transition anyway. He wanted to go for skirmishers after the scout production initially, so it's not too bad. Now the scouts are going straight through though, past the villager from the walls. And good pathing from Vinchester. Now if Valas plays his cards right, he should be able to body block the villager and take it down. And he's going to. That's going to be first blood. Vinchester's villager crumbles. We have spearmen coming over from Vinchester. Of course, he's expecting to see scouts from the Franks, right? Very soon, we're going to see skirmishers, which Vinchester should already be expecting as well. He's got vision on the archer range too. Beautiful quick walls over here if he plays the scouts right. Can he trap? No, he can trap the scouts. Plus he's too low HP. The game stabilizes, right? The game stabilizes right now. So anyway, what are your predictions for the series? For the whole series, not just for this game, for the whole series. I probably would have predicted Vinchester to come out on top 4-2. And I think I'm still preferring Vinchester, although to be fair, yesterday he seemed to struggle a little bit, right? It could have been the case that Sebastian was on a roll, it could have been the case that Vinchester struggled yesterday, particularly speaking. It could be a variety of things. Personally speaking, I think Vinchester is still the favorite over here, but Valas can definitely take a game here or there. So lead for Valas, given the idle time. Oh, I didn't change the... I'm pretty sure I had. There we go. Sorry. Hello, Fifi. He gets. So far, no one's been able to really get too much damage done. Between Vinchester's Lost Villager and the extra idle TC time, Valas was able to get ahead by about 3 workers, but Vinchester will still be the first one to click up to the Castle Age. Gather economy time is higher for Vinchester throughout the game so far. And you have the extra carrying capacity of the Aztec villagers to thank for that. Beautiful. Yeah, so they're just on the way now for Valas as well, a little bit later compared to Vinchester. Actually, it's quite a significant lead. It's almost a full minute. Faster Castle Age time for Vinchester. Here come the scouts, though. Here come the scouts. The quick walls did not happen on time over there. That's another villager going down. Notice how Valas is going straight. To the back of Vinchester's base over here, trying to find some more exposed economy, right? Farthest he can get from the TC, all the better. But Vinchester scout right now. A lot of Eagle Scouts. These are not Eagle Warriors yet. He's not gone for the upgrades. Got Squires now on the way instead. But this will make it a little bit easier for him to keep up with the scouts, of course, try to catch up. And nice quick walls from Vinch. Scout's getting trapped right now. Will go down. Yes, sir. Before he gets a chance of going for like cavalry. I wonder if Valas realizes how far ahead they are on villager count. Having lost one villager, they naturally think they're behind. Wait, what? Vinchester was the one to lose the most villagers so far. You wonder if Valas... Oh, if Vinchester knows... Oh, okay. I guess you meant to say that if Vinchester knows he's far ahead because of the gather economy time, despite having lost a villager, well, now he's no longer ahead in gather economy time. Only 6 eagles. But he's got extra ones on the way. He's got already a monk out, and he's got a 4 monastery coming up, so it's going to be a eagle monk play over here, which is interesting to see, and it's not necessarily what we see every time. You see monks from the Aztecs, they're usually protected by pikemen, especially against cavalry over here, but the eagles are going to be, I guess, a more versatile unit. Army bar is dying. Yeah, we have a lot of bulk over here for Vinchester's army, a lot of spearmen over here, cheap units, a field archer even. In terms of actual relevant units, I would say we have probably 8 right now for Valas, and we have about 17, 18 for Vinchester, as a matter of fact. Now he's gotten the pikeman upgrade, so it's a lot better. There was a game like this yesterday. I saw a game like this with Vinchester versus Kingstone, where Kingstone was making a play for Eagles, but he kind of misplayed the units a little bit. He ended up losing a bunch of monks for free, pretty much. To light cavalry, and some around seems like Vinchester is the one in charge of making this composition work, and it seems to be in a better position because of it. Nice quick walls! Nice quick walls for Vinchester. Well done. Yeah. Well done. Beautiful. Since this, did he ram rush castle? Yes, Kingston did, because he didn't have the option to play for the Imperial Age. But I don't think that was the same game, though. I think that might have been a different one. I'm actually no. Wait a moment. I think that was. Oh yeah. You know what? You're right. He rammed, rushed a castle, and he garrisoned the eagles inside the ram. So I think we might be talking about the same one. But there were a few misplays from Sebastian in that one, unfortunately. So this time around, if Vinchester plays his cards better, he should be in a better position. Gas already got spotted. Oh, but the knights came in though! The knights came in, and now the villagers are starting to crumble. Vinchester, who was already behind in work count, now is going to fall even further behind. We have some conversions coming up over here. Even if the conversion connects, we're still gonna have 3 knights. 2 knights left for Valas to keep on roaming around and just trading villagers. Trading the knights for villagers, right? And he does manage to get yet another one. If he's able to defend himself just fine over here. And it seems like he's going to. Nice shot. What does Vinchester ever do? Like a GG for Vinch. He's got right now the vast majority of the military units around the, or you know, in the game. He's got a vast lead in military. That castle is providing protection to the gold miners and to the TC on the right hand side, but this one's still potentially exposed. Yeah, and the farm TC is going down soon. Notice the Valas is just taking some preemptive measures over here. Going for a defensive tower before the TC goes down. So it's going to be a little bit harder for Vinchester to keep on pushing forward, right? Yeah, Valas is going for throwing X-Men, however. That should be good against both Pikemen and Eagle Warriors, but the monks are going to be an issue for Valas for sure. Oh, no, it is. Vinchester already realized with the converted knight about the exposed wall on the right hand side, so he's coming over. Now the throwing X-Men are there. Vinchester realizes about this, is going to try and go and close the gap against the throwing X-Men right away, so he's going to try and take the units down, both villagers and military units from the green player. And he will now take in one villager down only, losing a crap ton of eagles, so probably not the best of trades. Yeah, now he's walking back, right? He's able to keep the mana up. He's able to keep this the monks over here as well. That TC is eventually going down now. Vinchester's on 3 TCs himself, but he's still significantly behind by about 26 villagers. It's gonna take a while for him to catch up just by having one additional TC compared to Valas. Compared to Vinchester, sorry. Compared to Valas, if Vinchester does take this TC down from the green player. No army Valas. No army Valas. The one you go to when you need to be diplomatic is the one you go to when war is out of the question. There we go. TC finally crumbles. Now the tower is going down next. You know, Valas is not respecting the push over here at all, though. Not garrisoning the villagers, not pulling them away whatsoever. Yeah, and he's just going to give up on the push from this side. We still have an army lead for Vinchester, but he just does not seem to be able to do much of anything with it. Meanwhile, Valas has got a small amount of throwing X-Men. Probably doing just as much damage, if not more, taking some villagers down. That's going to go for a castle right next to the secondary gold. And Vinchester's just lost the Magnus though. Yeah, to light cavalry, well played. Well played, Valas. Now doesn't have to worry about a thing. Vinchester realized about this way too late, so the mana had already gone down. Really just on the way now for the green player and Vinchester. Vinchester is running out of options. There is no way he'll be able to deny this castle. It's coming up already. And that foundation was like very, very low HP, so he can't do anything to prevent Valas from getting access to the gold. There's the second castle you were talking about coming up on the right hand side for Valas as well. And Vinchester, so far, has struggled to keep up. Even after getting the extra TCs up, right? It was coming in so much later compared to Valas that, of course, it didn't make much of a difference, and we see that the green player is still 24 workers ahead while going out to the Imperial Age so much earlier. Third castle, yes. I meant Halididak said that he could go for 2 castles. This was the second one, but it's technically, yes, the third one. Monk's going down. Yes. Well done, well done. Gets the Monk down, deletes the light cavalry right away. Imperial Age is on the way now for Vinchester as well. It's a greater than 2-minute lead to the Imperial Age for Valas. A head start to the Imperial Age. Oh well, I think this is probably going to Imperial Age here for Valas, nice. Yeah, I think this probably is going to go in favor of Valas, right? We've gotten to the Imperial Age already. He's got trebuchets on the way from 2 castles. Vinchester doesn't have a single castle himself, so nothing really for him to defend himself with, right? He's going for the Crossman upgrade, which I guess is going to work against Through X-Men, but Valas could very well make a play for cavalry, given that Vinchester does not have too many monks anymore. That'll be a nice adaptation. Right now, I don't think Valas... Okay, yeah, there we go. I was gonna say I don't think he's got too many stables, but he's going for more. And it makes sense. So he's got light cavalry actually on the way, and that's fine too. Against Castle Age units, you can go for light cavalry. Does Valas know about Vinchester's castle? He does. He does. Taking the monastery down, 3 relics. Lie inside of the monastery. The castle should be going down next. That is, if Valas feels confident enough to send the trebuchets a little bit further forward. He does have another castle on the way, though. Oh, it's Valas' castle. You're right. I confused the pikemen over there with villagers building. You're correct. I am blind. I'm taking a look at the minimap right now where Valas is going for yet another 4 castle, and I see the green foundation. Yeah, that is an ambitious castle. This one got denied. This one seems like a little bit riskier, but Vinchester does not have the units at hand, though. Yeah, I know. Hand size 2020. Actual side 120. Okay, villagers are gonna push the wave from here. Vinchester's got some crossbows still. Valas got 13 light cavalry. If he grouped all his army together, he should be able to clean out the crossbows from Vinchester. He should be able to finally get a castle up. Oh, he's gonna try though. He's gonna try though. He's still trying. 95%, 97%. Oh. He's doing it. He's doing it. 99, 100. There we go. Castle comes up for Valas, and Vinchester's getting a castle up himself. Well, now Valas should be able to target Vinchester's castle if he's aware of it, and he is. He's going to pack trebuchets back up. Hopefully send these forward. It's about time for him to delete this castle foundation, though. He's going to less than 100 HP. He's going to lose a stone. I think he's going to do it. He deleted it. I think he deleted the castle just in time. Right? Yeah, he did. Was just trying to give me a heart attack. Oh man, this economy from Vinchester is awful. Looks more like my gameplay than a high-level player. For trebuchets now for Valas. Yeah, and this guy should crumble very soon from Vinchester. He will get the second trebuchet out, but it's unlikely he'll be able to keep this one out. Meanwhile, like, I already keep on raiding around for sure. So far, Vinchester has taken the most villager losses, and it's not even close. 46 villagers have gone down so far from Vinchester. See so many X-Men on the field? Yeah, it's certainly a breath of fresh air. Not something you expect to see from the Franks very often. And Vinchester, to be fair, he's not really been investing too heavily into the archer line himself. He does not have Arbalister, for instance, right? Hasn't gone for chemistry yet. Now these are elite as well for the green player, elite throwing axeman, which is an even rarer sight. And now they're going up against the crossbows right away against the monks. Is this enough though? Are the elite throwing axemen going to dominate over here? It seems like they might actually do pretty well, especially now with the light cavalry coming over for a meat shield. Wow, the trebuchets are here. The cast foundation is probably going down either right away or it's coming up in flames. Yeah, well, in the end, the throwing axemen are getting cleaned up, and for whatever reason, Valas is not using the trebuchets at all. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on with Valas. What is it? He's got the range, right? Yes, he does. He unpacked these trebuchets to target the castle specifically. For whatever reason, it seems like he couldn't target it. But now the castle's going down anyway. It's fine. Having targeted the castle earlier means that Vinchester probably would have deleted the foundation and would have gotten some of the stone back. Waiting for the castle to come up means that it's unlikely. Well, Vinchester is obviously not going to be able to get any resources back. In any case, he's going to lose resources trying to repair this castle. And Valas is delaying his push out a little bit by allowing the castle to go up in the first place. But he will end up doing the most damage over here in Vinchester. Well, Vinchester calls a GG. Valas, he's up 2-1 against the Russian former TTL champion who got demoted from the Platinum League this season. Vinchester has certainly had a rough run the last couple of months, and now struggling against Valas over here. Very much so. Let's take a look at this. Valas used X-Men Ange versus MBL yesterday as well. Versus MBL. Wait. Didn't Valas play? Oh, yeah. You're right. For whatever reason, I misread that. Let's take a look at the achievements, which will reveal a better than 5-3 kill ratio for Valas. For economy, stronger economy as well. About 7,000 extra resources. Society, looking better for Valas as well. About 25 extra villagers. Welcome you guys to game number 4 so far. Valas up 2-1 against Vinchester. Game number 4 is going to take place on African reed beds. We're gonna have Valas up in the north playing with Malians. Vinchester down south playing with Mongols. For these civilizations, you know what to expect probably. Valas will get a discount on buildings. He's going to get longer lasting golds. In addition to that, we also see for the Malians 1 extra pierce, armor, and barracks units per age starting in the field age. Well, for the team bonus, they're going to get 80% faster work in universities. Now, Vinchester playing with Mongols will get 40% faster work in hunters. 30% extra HP on Light Cavalry Hussar in Step Lancer line units, as well to 25% faster attacking cavalry archer units. And for the team bonus, we have 2 extra line of sight on scout line units. Wolves are coming up already for Vinchester. Let's take a look at the map generation for both these guys. Starting with Valas, actually. He's the only player who's gone for a dock, by the way. Vinchester's going up to the fuel age. This is very interesting to see. He's got the scout coming up forward. He's got to be careful not to run into a TC, of course. There we go. And interesting to see Vinchester just try to play for full aggression. We're going to see scouts come out. So let's take a look at Valas' map generation, shall we? He's got 1 goal on the right hand side, 1 goal on the left hand side. He's got a stone towards the south west. He's got a stone towards the southeast. It's gonna be fine over here. He's already going for the walls on the right hand side, and then he could potentially go for something like this or something like this, depending on whether or not he sees this one. Seems like he doesn't. This is probably going to be something like this. Then on the left hand side, though, he's gonna have to go for something like this, perhaps. Yeah. Doesn't scout the TC on fixed position maps? That'd be kind of tragic, but we saw it in the past, actually. It's not unheard of. I don't remember exactly which map it was that we saw. But it seemed kind of ridiculous. You shouldn't lose your scout on a fixed position map. So anyway, Vinchester's got the stable already coming out. Valas still 1 minute away from the fuel age. Scouts already on the way for Vinchester. Notice that Valas has gone for mini walls on the right hand side, but there is no way he'll be able to close the walls towards the edge of the map before Vinchester gets forward with the extra scouts. So this is going to be kind of wasted resource in the end, and he's going to be banking on localized walls around the individual resources. She's not going for just yet, but should be going for very, very soon. Vinchester is finally going to start going for water economy. It should be anyway. There we go. I wonder if the scouts are to go just straight to the fish. That is what we saw yesterday, and Vinchester seems to be going for that as well. Yes, we have 3 fish ships over here. Fairly weak as well. And Valas is going for a fire galley. There we go. Nice. It's already taking 1 down. The spearman's here. The fire galley's there. That's going to be like a villager kill in a sense. And then Vinchester's taking advantage of the center foot. So that's good as well. And back home, he's finally gone for the dock, and he's gotten the first fish ship up. So it's not too bad. Right now, he caught up in worker count. He's taking the spearman down. He's taking yet another spearman down. Although Valas does target the correct scout, he doesn't end up losing 2 spearmen over here. Now, Vinchester breaks through the walls, but the reaction from Valas is swift. Vinchester is going after the fishing ships once again. He's going to get 1 down, and it seems to me like he's going to end up getting the other 1 down as well. Most likely. Doesn't end up taking a lot of heat though from the fire ship. But he does take the fishing ships down. That's going to be 3 eco units down already for Valas. Vinchester's does only 1. To the scout, I would imagine. I'm not really sure, because we do have the 2 villagers over here full HP. The scout is kind of weak. Did he lose maybe 1 fishing ship, perhaps? Might be the case. Probably, right? Like right now, Vinchester's got more villagers compared to Valas. So I guess that's probably it. And Valas is getting the walls finally up. He's already taking a few losses over here. Vinchester has gotten away with a lot of damage. He's gotten access to the center as well. A ton of extra resources for free. Well, Valas is already kind of forced into making the transition to farms. We take a look at Vinchester, and he's gone for a few farms himself over here as well. Not quite as many. But he does have a much stronger economy because of the fishermen at the center. Can villagers collect food from fish traps? That is actually a great question. I would imagine that they should be able to, but I'm not 100% sure. Does anybody know? Like on a terrain like this where you can walk and sail at the same time, I would imagine that's probably going to be the case, right? Vinches has got no walls though. Yeah. That is true. Valas is completely walled off already. Not really. It's still very much open. Where's the villager? Yeah, it's right there. Vinchester is being able to stay safe by keeping the attention of the game around Valas' base for the most part. Just gotta be careful over here not to let Valas take the villagers down, of course. The experience for both of these guys. The engagement is taking place right now, and it seems like it's going to go in favor of Vinchester. He's got the highest HP pool, he's got the most spearmen, but that's not going to be the case for much longer. Right now, the scouts are going down as well for the purple player, so who's going to come out on top? We see extra units coming in for Valas as well. It seems like Vinchester is still looking the strongest over here. Maybe because of the villagers, right? But then, if you remove the villagers from the equation, it's also looking pretty good for Vinchester. Still, we have extra scouts coming in for both these guys. The HP pool still favoring the purple player. Yeah, it seems like he's going to hold on over here just fine, right? Well done! Good job! Vinchester play this one very nicely over here. Still does not need to get the walls up back home. As we know to defend just fine with military units. Now we have an archer on the way for Valas, but it's unlikely to change things up too much, especially as Vinchester is getting plenty of time to get a tower up. Here we are. So far, so good for Vinch still. He's kind of the better trades. He's the first player to click up to the castle age as well, and he needed this. He needed this. He is behind after game number 3, and this is his chance to even the series out, to equalize. There's overchop though from Vinchester, and Valas does not pursue the hole though. Instead, it's going to go straight past. He loses one of the scouts, goes close to the TC. Now he's getting to the wall line. I don't know, man. Scouts are very low HP, so he might be able to get the villager down. He does, but he loses all 4 scouts in exchange. One trying to get to this position, the other 3 fighting the villagers off. Yeah, and in 40 seconds, Vinchester is going to be in the castle age, while Valas has not clicked up yet. It's not too bad for Vinch at all. It's got a lot of less at the TC time compared to Valas too. There we go. TC coming up now for Vinchester as well. Nice. And of course, Valas, still 1 minute away from the castle age, cannot try to keep up with Vinchester. The second TC should allow Vinchester to start pulling ahead by about 3 extra workers or so. He's got the stone to go for yet another TC, just does not have the wood. Oh, the sublasters are coming in right away. The foundations do not come out on time, so... Oh, they do come out on time though. Just barely, but it's not going to be the case for much longer. Vinchester realized about the villager behind the foundations. He was able to take it down, keep the foundations from getting HP, take the foundations down and come in. Of course, now we have archers from Valas and for Vinchester to worry about. But he's going right after the fish ships once again. He loves to do so. He loves to do so. There we go. The fire galley is going down right away. The fish traps going down. Fantastic. There we are. These archers going down. Valas is going to call the GG. He only got the crossbow upgrade after he had lost the vast majority of these units, so he was bound to start losing some villagers over here. Calls the GG and allows Vinchester to equalize the series over here to the 2. Why didn't he just die at the archers? Oh, he was gonna get destroyed. If he fought with fuel H archers against the lancers, he was going to get destroyed. So he wanted to wait for the crossbow upgrade, but in the end, he ended up kind of getting cleaned up anyway. He did manage to get a crossbow upgrade in the end. Then Valas got the end of the wood line on the left. Valas. Yeah, it's a good question actually. It seems like he probably hadn't until very recently. Most likely, after going for the house. I mean, why didn't Vinch kill when he first got... Oh, why didn't he dive the archers? Not why didn't Valas dive with the archers? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I guess because he wanted to get damage down over here on the back first. Like, he can always go for the archers. He can always go for the archers afterwards, right? But... yeah, he got the fish juice first. Yeah, there we go. Alright. For the achievements then, we're gonna see for the KV, a better KV for Vinchester, surpassing 1-1, 2-1, sorry. It's gonna be more like 21-10. While for economy, on the other hand, not actually 21-10. But yeah, an economy on the other hand, we're going to see a stronger economy for Vinchester. In the end, he ends up collecting about 645 extra resources. Not a whole lot more compared to Vinchester. But yeah, let's just go back. And game number 5 is here. Everyone's going to be Hippo Arena. As a location for this one. And we do have indeed Poles and Turks. Yes, sir. For Valas Civilization, playing with the Poles means he's gonna have 5, 10, 15, 20 HP regeneration on villagers per minute. Depending on the age, starting in the Dark Age at 5 and up to 20 in the Imperial Age, besides that. Oh, there's a pause though. What's going on? Is anybody missing any resources? That seems to be fine. Vinchester seems to be fine as well. He's got the sheep, he's got the boars. Yeah, I don't see an issue with the map at the very least at first sight. Is Valas missing 2 sheep, by the way? It's got 2, 3, 4, 5 herdables. I think he's missing some, isn't he? On the right hand side. Valas berries. Oh, you're right. Yeah, there are no berries. Oh no. Wow, the berries over here, they are present. They are just not in a good position. I don't think this is technically bugged. I think they call it bugged when less than half the faces are available. And right now we have more than half the faces available, but I think this is probably still going to be actually that might actually not be the case. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 50-50. I guess we are going to find out. Yeah, this is actually a very unusual case when the same amount of faces are available as the amount of faces that aren't available. It'll certainly hurt as the polls, to be fair though, because if you have to go for the fallborg to collect from berries, and then you cannot surround the fallborg with farms, it's kind of rough. Yeah, I would agree that this is probably going to be a restart. But if you are to go by the book, I think it's... Let me actually take a look. Yeah, okay. It's going to be a restart. Let's take a look at this. Use of game box is not allowed. Restarts. If less than 5 sides of the entire pile are directly accessible. Well, we had 6 that were directly accessible. But yeah, it's pretty bad for sure. Like everyone agrees to that, right? Anyway. Oh, oops, it's not the right view. Sorry. There we go. Yeah. Let's go for it again. There we go, once again. Welcome everyone to game number 5. Valas, playing with Quals, is gonna be facing Vinchester. Oh god! Oh boy, at the very least, if he does go for the fallborg this time around, like over here still, he should still be able to surround it with farms, but it's not ideal, right? This is Not good still, but I don't think they're going to call the restart for that one. Right hand side. Yeah, much better for Vinchester once again. But anyway, yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm just mentioning this because we had a restart before because the berries were kind of bugged out. Not by definition by the handbook, but like everybody could see that it was a poor map generation, right? And this is not ideal either, but it's not anywhere near as bad as the first instance. Regardless, Valas playing with Quals is going to get, once again, 5, 10, 15, 20 HP per minute of HP regeneration on villagers in the Darkfield Castle and Imperial Ages. He's going to get access to Folborg. He's going to have, on top of that, 33% gold income from Stone, and for the team bonus, Quals also have 1 bonus damage against archer units from scout type units. Now, Vinchester playing with the Turks on the other hand will get 25% faster working gold miners, 25% higher HP on gunpowder units, in addition to the light cavalry and hussar upgrades for free. Those units will be affected by +1 pierce armor as well, scout line units. And in addition to all of that, the Turks will also have free chemistry, a 50% discount on gunpowder units, and for the team bonus, 25% faster training gunpowder units. That's going to be about it. But if you didn't follow the rules and if you didn't follow the rules you made strictly, why do you make the rules in such detail? It's probably so that there's no doubt when a re is required, right? But I think the admin, if you realize that it might not be exactly by the book, but it's still like the rules are basically meant to encapsulate an intention, right? If you see that something falls under the intention that the rules try to capture, even if it's not exactly fitting the rules that you made, you can still consider like an exception for that case. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, rules are there meant to protect the players in those situations. If the rules are insufficient for a particular scenario, and the restart would protect the players against that situation, like, you can do it. The administrators, I believe, they do have a right to also assess the situation and call for a re, even if it's outside the scope of the rules. Or maybe not the scope of the rules, but outside the details of each rule. Yeah, it was kind of like an edge case. That is correct. Hey there, Fox! Hi. Yeah, exactly right. Like a football referee, I guess. So, we took a look at the civilizations. Let's take a look at the map generation. Starting with Valas, we'll see the green player. He's got the main gold on the back. He's got the secondary gold forward. The main stone up in the north. And then we are going to have, as usual, one extra stone on the right hand side. We're going to have extra golds outside the walls. But mind you, there are no golds immediately available to Valas over here outside the walls. And this is probably something that I would have considered kind of bugged. Because if you take a look at the map generation, you can take a look at the minimap over here, right? Check this out. We have 1, 2 golds for the green player. Make that 3, 4 at most, right? Because these are from the middle line of the minimap to the left hand side. But then if you try to count the golds for the purple player, we're gonna have 1. Actually, that is not correct. Yeah, you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 as well. Huh. I guess this is not really bugged. Oh no, there is a fifth one over there. Yes. Right here. As a matter of fact. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be quite as fair for the gold generation. Especially because of this one being forward. If we were to see the purple player go forward with scouts in the field age, castle age, which is most likely not going to be the case given he's playing with Turks, right? And then he scouts alongside the walls. Over here. He should get vision on the gold. And that means, of course, they could potentially go for like a single castle around here. And that should allow him to deny both this and this with a single fortification. And then Valas would only have a single gold over here to work with. Yeah, Valas is once again getting kind of wrecked by map generation. On the right hand side, wow, Vinchester got to the castle age right away. Super fast castle over here. Talk about aggression. 12 minutes into the game, he's getting the castle up. Already he's going to start going for Janissaries. And if we take a look at his map generation really quickly so we don't miss out on the rest of the action, we'll see that he's got the main goal on the back. Actually, not really on the back, but it's going to be towards the south. And then the secondary goal is going to be significantly farther away from the relics. What am I talking about? From the walls, rather. So that means that if the red player or the green player over here were to scout alongside the edges, which won't be possible once the castle comes up, right? But if you were to scout along this edge of the walls, then he would probably miss on the goal, I think. At the very least. Actually, he's going to get enough vision. Yeah. But of course, the castle's already come up for Vinchester. It's very unlikely Valas will be able to put any pressure forward. Maples Arena. How do you defend as Turks versus Portuguese fast castle into castle drop organs? We are playing Turks. Redemption. Monks is pretty much the go-to counter for any civilization. With Redemption. Against organs? Yes. That is a very valid choice. For sure. If you are able to prevent your opponent from massing too many organs, you prevent them from getting to the mass they need. From picking up momentum. Triple A has only won one thing and it's disgusting. He's got the Janissaries already out, he's coming in. I'm wondering if he's ever gonna try to make a play for a few petards over here. Because he should be expecting, after all, the castle did already come up, right? And Valas knew about the castle, he got vision with the scout. So he's expecting this and he's going for the extra layer of walls. Vinchester will eventually be able to breach through the walls over here, but he should be expecting there to be a secondary layer of walls. If he went for a few petards, he should be able to bust through the house right away and then come in and start doing damage. Without it, it's going to take quite a while. Continue control from Vinchester, going back right to the castle where Valas. This is one of the scouts. It will be less of a needle donation next time. Well, yeah, it's kind of similar as well, even for the other way around, right? If you're playing against the Turks and they fast castle, cast drop, and start going for Janissaries, you can also make a play for monks. But yeah. You can burn the castle drop too, it's always good. I feel like cavalry for Turks is great. Yeah, that is true. Especially with the Turks being so often keen on going for extra scouts during the field age. So you have extra map presence around the castle age, which you will want to get because of the relic collection, right? if you get a few scouts and the fuel age, so you go up to the castle age instead of going for the blacksmith in the market, you go for a stable on the market, right? Or potentially a stable and a blacksmith. And then you start pumping a few scouts. Once you get to the castle age, those get upgraded to light cavalry right away, and that usually makes it easier for you to collect the relics in the first place. But then if your opponent is going to try to cast a drop you, it's going to be significantly harder if you already have some units out of the open. You could potentially completely stop a 4 castle with a few Turk scouts. Hey, I will heal you. Hi, hi. Vinchester's push. It's getting a little bit stronger over here. Still have the same amount of Janissaries, so it's not going to be a matter of numbers. It's a matter of potential damage. If he manages to bust through the house over here, if he manages to get to the back of Valas' base, that's what's going to make the push significantly deadlier. Right now, Vinchester is waiting a little bit before sending any extra units forward. Of course, he needs to take care of these scouts first, and he's going to. He's got villagers coming forward as well. Vinchester takes some of the scouts from Valas down. He's gonna continue marching on slowly but surely. And the reaction from Vinchester was absolutely fantastic. You gotta keep in mind a difference between Janissaries and organ guns, besides glaring differences in like the units, is going to be the range over here. Janissaries are, I believe they're 1 longer range, right? I believe the organ guns are 7, so it's a little bit harder to get the conversions against Janissaries. It's only going to be 1 extra range for the monk. Nice damage, even if he's unable to get any villagers or anything over here. Taking the stable down is going to represent still 175 resource down the drain for the green player. And the numbers are getting scary, guys. These Janissaries not going to take that long to battle through houses, and we have a bunch of stables coming up for Valas, so he's got on the castle up. You know what that means. I know what that means. Your grandma knows what that means. It's like the privileges time, baby. He's got Loom on the way as well, and Valas is about to unleash the flood of knights onto Vinchester's units. He's gonna need to get some units out first, though. We see 1 villager going down to the scout before the scout eventually crumbles. We know exactly what to expect over here. Bloodline's on the way. Valas is gearing up. We're gonna see the handbook for NAC4. It's right here. There we go. Janissaries can start marching on right now, but Valas was about to start queuing the knights. Second castle on the way for Vinchester, though. I love to see this. I'm wondering if he's gonna try and make play for the Imperial Age. Probably not gonna be the case, as he's already on 4 TCs. Usually if you want to play for a fast-ish imp, you're going to stick to 1 TC, Janissary production, right? And eventually you grow your economy to a point where you're able to keep production of villagers, Janissaries, and still mass enough to go up. I guess he will be faster to Valas than Valas to the Imperial Age, but it's not going to be a fast imp in any case anymore, not for Vinchester anyway. We have the knights already queued up. We have 6 tables actually producing out of 7 right now. 4 out of 7. Valas is ramping the numbers up extremely quickly. 1 minute ago, Vinchester was an almost about 2 times the military count compared to Valas now. It seems like in a matter of a minute or 2, Valas will not only catch up, but definitely surpass Vinchester. But the Imperial Age is on the way. This makes a huge difference for Vinchester, but he's gotta be careful. He is completely sealed up still. He's got 2 castles to defend the Janissaries with, and we're gonna see stables come up. Vinchester is gonna think of going either for Hussar or for camels. If he notices the knights, he's gonna go for camels. He has to. He sees the trail end of that knight bunch over there for a moment. So 1 extra knight over here as well. We're just on the way for Valas right now. We have the camels on the way for Vinchester. A good meat shield of heavy camel rider in the Imperial Age, plus a bunch of Janissaries on the back. It's going to be so hard to fight against, even with lack the privileges knights or potentially cavalier. Let's see, where are the Janis? The Janis are in the middle of nowhere, down the south. Oh boy, preventing Valas from collecting some additional resources. But that means that this is going down then. But we have some camels over here. Is that going to be enough? Most likely not. He's gonna try to engage, but now he's fighting the knights off. And pop goes the weasel. The village is out. But then he'll managed. Yeah, he managed to do so. He'll manage to repair this DC for a little bit. Get the villagers back in. The knights are getting pushed away. We have a very small amount of Janissaries over here, though, for Vinchester to play with. Camels. Looking good. But here is the number that I was talking about. It's just the sheer ability of the Poles to absolutely spam knights out of their mind. That's going to make the civilization so freaking threatening. Vinchester, however, being the first player to get to the Imperial Age, will be the first player to get access to imp upgrades. So we have heavy camel coming up already. 1 minute and 15 seconds away. Still a respectable amount of Janissaries, and so long as he's got the meat shield to work out of, these Janissaries will just have a boon against these knights. Hey, I will heal you. Hi again, welcome. And to get some armor upgrades? Yeah, probably. Right now it's only a scale mill armor. To be fair, Valas only has forging. He's not really been going for too many attack upgrades, but still Vinchester would benefit greatly from going for chain bard and armor. Notice how Valas is going to continue committing to knights only. Chain bard and armor's coming out. Vinchester, he's got the heavy camel upgrade right now. Finishing researching. At the same time, he turns around with the camels, gonna try facing Vinchester's camels. Will put a stop to Valas's knights over here. And the Janissaries, of course, will work out of the camels extremely efficiently. So, it's looking good for Vinchester. He's got fairly small amount of units compared to Valas for sure. Valas is just trying to retain as many knights as he can until he gets to Cavalier. Vinchester is starting to produce right now from 5 stables himself. It's not bad. It's not bad. And sure, Poles will get a discount, right? Which lack the privileges. But camels are already cheaper units to go for compared to standard knights. So it's not going to be too much harder for Vinchester to keep production of camels. Somewhat comparable to the production of knights that Valas is going for, so long as he's got a meat shield, that's going to allow the Janissaries to work out of them. Vinchester should be in a good spot. He is. He's got bombard cannons on the way. Valas is going to continue committing to the Cavalier. He's got right now 11 stables producing Cavalier. Grand total of 42 currently. 51 total after the 1 skill up come out. Vinchester. Yeah, Vinchester's on 25 camels. You know what? This might be just enough. So there's another engagement taking place right now. The camels still going to be facing the Cavalier, and the Janissaries behind the camels, working out the meat shield, are going to take this down. Shouldn't be particularly close, and though the camels are getting greatly outnumbered over here, the Janissaries will still represent a threat, but is that going to be a strong enough threat? The Cavalier are taking down the camels as we see a second layer of units coming over from Vinchester. The reinforcements coming in just in time as Valas was prepping up to get us around going against Janissaries. That's not going to be possible anymore. Now we have chain bar and armor for Vinchester. It's going for plate bar and armor as well. Vinchester. He's gotta be careful. He is. And that is so many freaking stables though. The Cavalier, the numbers are getting out of hand. The Valas is getting us around going against Janissaries already. Vinchester's units are just not numerous enough. The Camels are getting cleaned up. Janissaries are getting surrounded, and Valas needs some punching power to take the castles down. We need to see some siege over here. Here are the research lack the privileges. It's got 2 castles. Unless he was expecting to go for Lahitic Legacy, he should be going for some traps right now. Of course, I would imagine he wants to respect the bombard cannons, but without siege to take the fortifications down from Vinchester, this will simply put be insufficient. Once again, we see the Cavalier completely outnumbering. Dwarfing the army from Vinchester. At times, Valas is respecting the camels. Vinchester's defender advantage over here is going to work in his favor. He's got pretty much 8 stables at hand. He can pump 8 camels at a time. So Valas is going to want to respect that, but he's going for what I said his army was missing, some siege power over here. Without this, he wouldn't be able to push past the castles, of course. Big engagement coming up once again. This time around, we do have a few extra heavy camels though compared to before with chain bar and armor. These guys are going to be quite resilient, but the Janissaries are not great in numbers anymore. And once again, the camels are not being sufficient anymore. The Janissaries are going down. Now Vinchester, if he's banking on only camels against Cavalier, it can still work out if he manages to keep production somewhat comparable to Valas's. The green player, how many stables does he have to work with? He's going for more as well. As if 16 was not strong enough. Now he's gonna have the 17th stable on the way. Yet another castle coming up over here. And you know, if Vinchester is able to get to 200 population himself with full camel, he should be fine. But of course, if Valas manages to get an engagement and snowball his lead such a way that Vinchester won't be able to match him for numbers, right? Then Valas should be in a much better position. It's going to be all a matter of momentum over here and suppression. Valas needs to suppress Vinchester's defenses so that Vinchester is unable to match him for numbers. Both players get the 200 population. We have the same amount of camels as we have Cavalier. Then the Shlachta privilege advantage is not really going to signify too much. Just mix in a few Albuch and the camels are not great. We have some Albuch on the way for Valas as well. It will certainly have an impact on the engagements. But he doesn't really have the population to go for too many more. That's still a respectable amount though. Close to 20 Albuch. But he's got the 200 population. He's got to suppress once again Vinchester though. Let's take a look at the engagement. We have elite Olbuk over here even. Notice he's respecting the camels. He's respecting the camels, but now he's turning around as he brings the Olbuk forward. He's going to try and engage on the camels, but now the Janissaries are there. And will they take the Olbuk down? Big engagement taking place right now. Valas is looking a little bit weaker in terms of HP pool over here, and many of the camels over here are getting destroyed. Their armor by their Olbuk. It seems like it's still going to go in favor of Vinchester, and it was not particularly close. The engagement's going to leave a very clear winner over here, Vinchester. When the Janissaries was able to offset for the Olbuk edition. And now Valas has not only failed to suppress Vinchester's defenses, but that's falling behind the military count a little bit. If he plays the Scars right, keeps the bombard cannons up, be able to take the castle down at the very least. Put some extra pressure. And both players are... This is such a weird position though. Both players are being so cautious right now. What is Valas doing? He's going for outposts up in the north. He's going to realize about the stone miners and take this down. Well done. We have a lead Janissary right now. Just finished researching for Vinchester. So these guys were not strong enough. Yeah, try again now. And let's see how this goes. Bombard cannons from Vinchester. They do get extra range with artillery, which he has not researched. But they are going to be standard for the most part, right? They are not going to have like any extra area of effect range or anything. So it's gotta be careful. And Valas gotta be careful not to clump the oboe together too much. Otherwise, bombard cannons could be extremely effective against squeezed up units. There we go. This round's coming up. A little bit of an oversight though from Vinchester over there. A lot of the Janissaries will be going down, and now the Obocar fighting straight against the camels. The end who's going to come out on top. It's once again the case that Valas was taking the engagement at the castle from Vinchester, so he'll bail. We still have some Janissaries left over here. And once again, Valas struggles to get a good engagement. Should be going down to the Janissaries, so at the very least getting chunked for a lot of HP, and Janissaries going for some Hussar right now as well. He's coming out on top. Once again, the fight underneath the castle. Around a little bit of a choke point for Vinchester's Janissaries to work out of means that it's going to go in favor of the purple player once again. And Valas, I don't get it though. The thing is, he cannot really force an engagement elsewhere, right? Because Vinchester can always fall back. But why does he commit to the engagement instead of bailing? Going for a few extra siege weapons, maybe try to play dodgeball a little bit. Seems like right now he's been giving so much gold away. Even if he's paying less for the Cavalier. The Oboe is going to pay full price, and the Cavalier are still going to cost gold, and it seems like he's just been taking fairly questionable trades. Yeah, the game continues like this, and Valas keeps on kind of just trying to make these power moves work. It's going to prove too expensive for him to keep going for that, of course. Remember as well, there were only 2 additional golds outside Valas' base, so he is trying to collect from this one, which is technically on Vinchester's half of the map. It's most likely not going to go down in the end, which means that it's going to be Vinchester, the one to benefit the most from this gold. And then this one is almost run out for Valas, right? This one up in the north, he doesn't have control of. So really gold will be enough for Vinchester. That is assumed that he even runs out of access to gold, right? I don't think that's going to be the case. I think he'll be able to access gold for a much longer time compared to Valas. Valas instead is going for Winged Hussar. Yeah, which of course is not going to be strong enough against the camels. They are just going to get completely destroyed. It's not even close. He's trying to go out to the bombard cannons. The unit control from Vinchester is good. The bombard cannons will probably still go down in the end though. At the very least one of these will. Not quite, not quite, and that is just a cemetery at Winged Hussar. And this is what I'm talking about. That gold, Valas doesn't really have any options against a Turk player with access to gold. For days, right? Vinchester is eventually going to clean this up. He's going to get access to the gold once again. He's going to push Valas away from here. He's going to get access to this one as well. Pause near the buff. Yes. It's inconceivable that they can have a rough matchup in this position. But in all honesty, Turks are just so good. And Vinchester, right now, like, he doesn't need to even consider going for cavalry archers, right? The army composition he's got is going to be extremely effective against what Valas got to work with. And you can see Vinchester is going to be pretty much locked at 200 population. Valas is going for more Hussar, but he's struggling still to keep up in population. The Hussar, once again, they are just not going to be quite as good so long as we have camels over here in the mix. And as we are taking into account the Janissaries, right, which on their own right are so good by themselves. Cast came out for Vinchester, by the way, next to the gold over here, which will prevent Valas from accessing it. And now with Mubarak cannons going down south, it seems like Valas' cast is probably going down in a moment. When you see one player try to get the reads going on the back of the other player over here on Arena in this situation, you know it's not looking good for them. Basically, Valas is scrambling to find any damage. If he can get a villager or two down, he's gonna take it, but he cannot engage Vinchester's actual army. He just can't. That means that so long as the game plays out perfectly for both these players, right? Assuming that both players play their cards right, perfectly, Vinchester is going to take this one 10 times out of 10. At the very least, so long as he continues pushing, right, before he runs out of gold. If he runs out of gold, then that's going to be a little bit rougher, but he is also, once again, the player with the most relics. So that helps. But for the foreseeable future, Vinchester should have access to extra gold. How much so? This much. 6,000 extra gold that Vinchester's got to work with. Nerfok is right, the Vinchester has to win before he runs out of gold himself. Yes. He could potentially make a play for Hussar, and he does have relics, so he's gonna be the only player with, or he's gonna be the player with the most relics, or with the most gold income, after gold effectively runs out around the map. But Valas has already ran out of gold himself. There's a beautiful push though from Valas, taking the castle down with Obu. Means that it's now possible for him to try and contest this gold. But is he gonna be able to do it though? We have a bunch of Hussar coming over. Fairly disposable units for Vinchester if Yobu take the armor out of the Hussar over here. The Hussar get cleaned up. Doesn't matter, we just can just replace these right away. What Valas needs is commitment. Either he stalls as much as possible, takes down Vinchester's castle. Anything in between is probably a loss, in my opinion. Yeah, and taking down the castles is probably not going to work out right away. He's got some trebuchets, I guess. We have bombard cannons over here for Vinchester, right? So trebs alone are probably not going to work, and Nobu on their own right, they are not going to work, given the amount of the fortifications that we have for Vinchester. So he could try to stall, and Vinchester's being very smart. He's not taking very expensive losses or very risky engagements in any case, right? He's been trading for the most part with Hussar, with trash units, and he's been utilizing for the most part his gold for siege weapons, for extra camels right now. And though he got pushed away from here, and Valas is gonna try to get control of the gold. He doesn't have a fortification over there, so even a few Hussar from Vinchester should be enough to prevent Valas from getting access to that gold once again. We don't have quite as many fortifications for Valas to defend himself with, so both these castles going down. It's going to leave the majority of his economy outside the walls already exposed, 39 or so villagers. We see a big engagement coming up right now. The Winged Hussar trying to go out to the bombard cannons right away. He's going to be able to take one. It doesn't seem like it's going to be the case at all. He's going for the red, but he cannot take these. The unit control from Vinchester is so good. Circling around the Janissaries. He's able to provide protection with the gunpowder. Now he continues his push. He resumes his push, and Valas has been trying so hard to get the bombard cannons down, to get the biggest threat taken care of, but it's just not been possible. And now he's going for chemistry. But how on earth is he gonna go for his own bombard cannons? And even if he went for it, Vinchester, he's got the potential to go for artillery. He's got the potential to get much better units compared to what Valas is going to have access to. This castle is already crumbling. The Wind Hussar from Valas. They are preventing the push from Vinchester from getting any extra ground over here, but it doesn't seem like it's going to matter, right? Vinchester, all he's got to do is keep the bombard cannons up over here so that he can take the castles down. And notice once again, he's trying to go back. This time around, he does not have anywhere near as many units to protect the bombard cannons with. At the very least, the meat shield is not there, but he will still be able to keep most of these up. At the very least, 3 out of 4 are going to stay up, and this is absolutely incredible unit control. Vinchester on 62 versus 18 military units is looking unstoppable. And Valas is struggling to even keep the Hussar queue high. 5 Hussar queued up, 70 food right now on the bank. But this cast going down as we already established, right? Well, Valas is going to have a bunch of his economy vulnerable already. Like, we have 1 TC to provide protection to how many villagers? 35 villagers or so, maybe 30 if we disregard the ones inside the walls. Yeah, once again, Vinchester still has access to some gold over here. We don't have too much left though, only 500 or so. To be fair, he's been banking on Hussar for the most part for a while already. Yeah, but he's going to get access to this one once again. That's going to give him a boost of 2,000 actually additional gold. Yeah, it's going down. The one bar kind of left though. He's going for 2 more, of course. The only player with access to gold. No wonder. Yeah, and this castle is going down. Vinchester's population might not be quite as high anymore either. Right, 154. But when you compare the military count between both these players, it's quite clear Valas is at a disadvantage. He's going to realize this. He's going to call the GG. He could have tried to stall this one out a little bit more. After all, Vinchester still had not gotten into Valas' base, and Valas still had a castle over here. But he decides to call the GG right away. Vinchester, of course, getting access to this extra goal, which Valas was probably expecting Vinchester to start collecting from very soon, was going to give Vinchester a very nice boost for his push, and Valas probably was anticipating not to be able to defend against that. So it's still good. He calls the GG, and it's understandable. Let's take a look at the engagements. What am I talking about? The achievements, sorry. We've been taking a look at engagements for the past half an hour or so. And we'll see that Vinchester gets a very close to 3 to 2 KD ratio. Not quite as high, but still very nice. He kind of needed to, given the effectiveness or the efficiency of Valas' units cost. And then for economy, we see the Valas did end up collecting about 13,000. Almost 400 extra resources compared to Vinchester, but it was not enough, man. It was not enough. Village losses were kind of even for both these guys. 80 villagers going down throughout the game for Valas versus 82 for Vinchester. Yeah, and it was just a game of numbers, a game of unit control. It was a game of clutch for Vinchester. And welcome everyone then to game number 5. So far, this is looking a little bit better for no one. 2 to 2. But it's been probably better than expected for Valas. At the very least, from my predictions, from my expectations, I would have expected Vinchester to be the one, to be the favorite player in the matchup over here. So far, Valas has proved me wrong to my the light, actually. I do prefer to be wrong about these things and to have potentially a full series. Let's get into this game right away. Talk about the civs real quick. Talk about the matchup. Talk about the map generation. We're going to start with Valas. Oh, wait a moment. Hold on. This is game number 6 already. You are correct. You are correct. Vinchester is up, actually. 32. My bad. Thank you. So, going through the civilizations, Valas is playing with Japanese. That means he's going to get a 50% discount on drop of buildings, right? Wait, hold on. Are you sure? Let me take a look. Yeah, you're correct. Hippo went in favor of... Well, I'm not going to say which game went in favor of whom, so that I don't spoil it for anybody who's just joining right now and might want to watch the full series, right? But yeah, it seems like you're correct. Actually, it's going to be 3-2 in favor of Vinchester. All right. I forgot to update the score. Anyway, 50% discount on drop of buildings. The Japanese get also 33% faster attacking infantry starting in the field age onwards. We have an addition to that for the Japanese 5-10. 15 and 20% faster working fish ships with twice the HP and plus 2 Pierce armor. They're going to work faster the longer the game goes. It's going to be dependent on the age, of course. While the team bonus will give the Japanese 50% extra line of sight on galley line ships. Vinchester with the Portuguese instead, he gets a 20% gold discount on units. 10% extra HP on Navy units, which can be quite handy on a map like this when the players are going to be fighting for the lakes. Besides that, Portuguese also get access to Feiticery in the Imperial Age. They're going to have, for the team bonus, 30% faster research and upgrades. And finally, they collect 25% wood from berries. And that'll be about it. So this matchup, Japanese have a secret a secret weapon to their disposal, which is the very tanky fish ships. That's going to make it a little bit easier for them to defend themselves against forward sneaky docks, right? So Vinchester went to where to go for a sneaky dock over here. You know, somewhere. Let's say he went for one over here. He started putting pressure, right, against Valas right away. Valas could potentially bring the fishing ships over to tank some damage. So that's very, very handy for the Japanese. It's not going to be something that helps him when being aggressive, mind you, unless he decides to go for a fishing ship before he goes for like Navy units, right, for fire galleys or galleys. But yeah, for defense, it's going to be actually quite handy. That's not going to be a possibility for Vinchester. That means that if Valas were to go for a sneaky dock over here, the green player were to go for a sneaky dock around this area, then Vinchester would just need to defend himself as normal, right, by going for actual Navy. He can also tank some damage with the fishing ships, but it's going to be riskier. It's not going to be quite as effective. And here comes Vinch right away with a forward dock, and we take a look at Valas' point of view. He doesn't know about it. And Valas is also going to go for a forward dock himself. Now, what I'm wondering is, does Vinchester know that Valas is here already, actually? Yeah, he knows, so he should be going for Navy right away. Well, if we take a look at Valas, he gets to the field age, and he's going for a preemptive galley. Even if he doesn't know about the dock being there, remember, it's not possible to scout, to Foundation scout anymore. So he's going for a preemptive galley over here. Just keep vision of his lake. He's going to realize about this. He's going to have to go for fire galleys. He's going to have to cancel the fish ship and go for fire galleys. Valas has to cancel the fish ship and go for fire galleys. No? Okay. Alright. Okay, there we go. Left-hand side, on the other hand, Vinchester is aware already of Valas' sneaky dock over here, so he's going for a fire galley himself. Remember, 10% extra HP for the Portuguese. The fire galley's on the way for Valas too. Oh! The scout from Vinchester, though. Did you say cancel and go fire galley twice or my Twitch glitch? No, I said it repeatedly. Oh, and the villager goes down right away. You gotta be careful when getting the quick walls up like this. Adjacent walls placed diagonally do not really protect your units. The Valas is going to take the scout down from Vinchester. But Vinch was able to get the first villager down. And you know what? Might not be the last one. This is what I was talking about. Notice how Valas is trying to make use of the tankier fishing ships of the Japanese to soak damage over here and get a better engagement that he would have been able to otherwise. So now he's able to push Vinchester away. Now the purple player needs to bring the villager over. There we are. Beautiful. And then on the left-hand side. Yeah, on the left-hand side we have good amount of units for both these guys. The extra HP should favor Vinchester, and it seems like so far it's done so. I think it was a poor choice by Valas to go galley and fish it before he was certain if his stock was safe or not. Yeah, I do agree. If he had gone up to the fuel H faster, I would definitely understand the galley decision right away, because he does have a little bit of a head start, right, to work with. But here it feels to me like he probably would have been safer going for a fire galley right away, and then going for the fishing ship. That was kind of poor. He needed to first make sure that he was not being docked before going for any extra fishing ships, of course. Like, galley's good because it could potentially prevent your opponent from getting the dock up in the first place. Like, fire galley is not going to be able to do that. But if you're going up later, there's always the risk that your opponent's going to get the first fire galley out, and then your individual galley is just going to get destroyed. Yeah, the extra line of sight is nice, but once again, it does come with some risks to go for it right away if you're later to the next stage. Well, in the end, the extra HP for Valas' fishing ships did not really help too much. Vinchester seems like it's going to end up getting the better end of the deal over here if he plays his cards right anyway. Not like this though, not like this! Vinchester, bow! E to demo. Fire galley, and now he's gonna try to do the same himself. Let's see, and there's a nice shot as well. Well done. Losing the HP left the Valas by quite a lot. Mihai! Thank you so much for the raids. Very much appreciated. Welcome. We're taking a look at Vinchester versus Valas, of course. We're gonna be providing coverage for all three series of the second qualifiers round of 6 stage. First one is looking really, really good. Quite promising. We already had... Well, this is going to be the 6th game, right? This is the 6th game, so we already have 6 out of 7 potential games. If Valas is able to survive over here. It's been kind of rough right now. Portuguese did a really good job with their extra HP to secure their pawn on the left-hand side, to put pressure against the Japanese on the right-hand side as well, and then, yeah, Vinchester plays his cards right, might be able to finish this one. But he's gotta be careful. Valas needs to win the game in order to stay in the series, right? In order to stay in the tournament, in order to still have the chance of making it to the NAC. And the real Buruku, it's very much appreciated. Thank you so much for the Prime Gaming sub. Welcome, welcome to the club. So far behind on castle time too. That is true, that is true. Vinchester is definitely the one on the lead in this game. In the driver's seat. Valas. I don't think this is going to be a situation of Vinchester getting to the castle age and Valas going to GG. This is just way too important of a game for him to do that, but it's probably going to take just as much for Valas to even click up to the castle age himself, right? But I mean that Vinchester is most likely going to get to the castle age before Valas is even able to click out right now. The green player doesn't even have a surplus economy that will allow him to use the market to go up at all. He's buying some food over here and like it's still peanuts. Yeah, and Vinchester. Nice shot over there. Still keeps on putting pressure against Valas. Probably a little bit of a wasteful shot over here from the green player, but doesn't matter. Probably not. Probably not. Probably not. In the end, Valas will keep control of his pawn over here. At the very least, the one that he went for first. And Vinchester will keep control of his pawn, so it's going to be 1-1. But the fact that Vinchester is getting to the castle age on the same work account, give or take, before Valas has even been able to click up, is just so rough. And Valas gotta keep on trying, guys. He's not going to call it GG right away, even though I'm very sure the green thought of losing game number 6 is going through his mind right now. He has to give it his all. And that is a nice shot from Vinchester. He's been getting a lot of bang for his buck. Quite literally. He's been getting the big bangs there. There we go. A lot of buck for his bank, surely. Yeah, might as well. Sure, why not? The War Galley upgrade is here. Vinchester's units are all of a sudden a lot more resilient, a lot tougher to get rid of. Right, so we have the fire ships over here versus fire galleys, and remember that Portuguese still get affected by the 10% extra HP, so yeah, Valas is not guaranteed to keep control of the right hand side pawn anymore. We have 2 docks over here for Vinchester still. He's going for the demo and bow! Once again, nice shot. Not as many kills as the previous one, but still not too bad. I'd probably like to see Vinchester try and collect some of the berries over here. Remember that he's going to get extra resources because of the food. Because of the wood generation, sorry, from... or the wood collection from the berry bushes for the Portuguese. But honestly, he might not need to right now. He's got a lead for both military and economy. Valas' economy efficiency is going down the gutter in the next few seconds. You can see the worker efficiency in the last minute going under 50%. He's had to pull all the villagers away from the wood line over here. I'm not really sure if Vinchester actually was aware of that wood line. He wasn't, but he's going to target the one that Valas still had villagers on. And in the end, Valas didn't know any better, of course, but ended up kind of hurting his economy more than he needed to now. Vinchester is in a much better position even. Just a few moments ago. On the right hand side, it seems like he's going to come out on top still. The War Galley upgrade's coming out for Valas. But notice the green player is going for the War Galley upgrade to keep control of one pond. And he had 1 fire galley to upgrade. He's got 2 fishing ships. He's going for War Galley to protect 2 fishing ships. It's unfortunately not a good position for Valas, and if you were rooting for the Finnish man, it's probably going to be a pretty sad sight for you to behold, but Vinchester has played his cards really, really well. He's got 4 siege right now as well from the 4 siege workshop, 2 mangonels. So he can take the tower down, he can push the villagers away from wood, he can push the villagers away from gold. There you go, right? And Valas is forced into garrison in the tower. Vinchester doesn't have a villager over here to repair the mountains with, so he cannot really take the tower down, but down the south we see a second TC for Valas in the middle of nowhere. Vinchester is going for the second TC at the very center where he's going to be able to take advantage of the berries. And 1 villager goes down for Vinchester for sure. But Seems like that's probably going to be as much damage as Valas will be able to do in his current position. Let's take a look at the unit control from Vinchester. Let's take a look at his attention span. He's paying attention, yes sir. Well done. Valas knows now not to blindly chase the units. Vinch is going to get the relics too. Yes, that is a great point. As a matter of fact, the relics are concentrated around the lakes, and Vinchester is collecting the ones from the left-hand side. We're going to take a look at that, but Vinch is paying attention. Yes, he is. So he's going to take the mountains down from Valas as well, and this is just so rough. You're in Valas' position, and this, like, every loss hurts so much. Every loss hurts so much. Vinchester already has a fantastic lead over Valas. He has collected the 3 relics down south. And then up in the north, he's gonna go for a monastery to collect the relics over here. He's got water control as well, and this is just brutal for Valas. He doesn't have access to any of the ponds. He doesn't have access to the center, right? Vinchester's able to take advantage of everything. Nothing for Valas, everything for Vinchester. Everything, everywhere, all at once, as they say, for Vinchester. He's just taking it all. Valas, yeah, Valas is trying to, you know, make whatever he can work out of scraps here. There's a possibility for Vinchester to potentially get redemption. So after he collects the relics, he's able to maybe get some conversions against the Mountains. The only thing that's prevented him from pushing further against Valas. Nice shot. Yeah, and Vinch could very well go up to the Imperial Age very soon. He sends some villagers forward, so it seems like he's gonna try and buy a castle. Yep, he's got the castle. Okay, he's going for a safer one. Yeah, this is very interesting, right? Vinchester. I'm pretty sure if he played these cards right, he might have been able to take the Mountains down, but he's going for the safer approach over here to get the castle up. Back at the center of the map. All 3 relics will be gathered over here on the right hand side for Vinchester as well, and he's got almost enough resources to go up to the Imperial Age anyway. It's gonna be a similar situation to what we had when he was going up to the Castle Age so much earlier compared to Valas, but it's going to be much worse for the Finnish man, of course, because getting to the Imperial Age is going to signify a different set of advantages for Vinchester. First off, access to trebuchets, of course. But then you cannot disregard the Arbalisters, Bracer Chemistry, making these units pretty much invincible, right? There's nothing in the Castle Age that's really going to work well against Arbalisters. Like you can go for skirmishers even, and you know the Arbalister player has extra range, higher damage. They can take skirmishers even. Does seem like Valas will be able to click out to the Imperial Age before Vinchester gets there. Now, this is a situation where I think Valas might actually consider calling the GG when Vinchester gets to the Imperial Age. He's gotta be aware of how far behind he is. The score is quite telling right now. And while at times the score can be kind of misleading, Valas got to know that Vinchester is, like, really ahead. It's a reality. After having lost the pond, and after the Portuguese got access to all the berries at the center. Guess we are going to find out in the next 50 seconds or so if Valas will want to continue or not. Wouldn't be surprised and wouldn't blame Valas if he were to call the GG so soon as Vinchester got to the Imperial Age, but we'll see. Once again, this is match point, so he's gotta try. Pillage here for Vinchester. And Valas. Valas is trying one last time over here. And he's just going to call it GG. Won't even try. Because Vinchester is taking no risks. There's no way for Valas to force the engagement over here. And Vinchester is just being extremely cautious over here, right? Keeping the hill advantage. He was going to go for our ballistas. Of course, bracer chemistry eventually. These mangonels across were not going to do much of anything. So Valas gets taken out of the qualifiers. And guys, Vinchester will thus officially qualify to participate in the NAC4, NILI'S Apartment Cup 4, to join the rest of the players who already qualified. And we'll take a look at that in a moment. For the time being, let's take a look at the achievements. And we are about 10 minutes past the starting time of the second series, so I'm not really sure if they already got the draft done or not. But yeah, for military, we see a 4-3 KD ratio for Vinchester, a little bit higher than that. For economy, he managed to collect about 6,000 extra resources, so very well played from Vinch. Looking absolutely fantastic. For the pro player, let's go back. Wait for the second series on the day. Vinchester 4, Valas 0.